let's talk about some video games, man.
This was never supposed to happen to EA. EA says it will keep creative control if Saudi Arabia sale goes through. Sure, unless you don't make any money. If you don't make them any money, then they will take creative control from you. Good luck with that. I don't think that they're going to be able to make money unless Saudi Arabia actually takes control.
Ladies and gentlemen, so in today's video, we are going to be talking about electronic arts and how people, certain people, are coping and seething quite a bit, because obviously everybody knows that EA has announced that they are going to be bought out by Saudi Arabia for a massive amount of money, $55 billion, if I remember correctly.
Shit.
Now, with all this being said, people think that the purchase of EA from Saudi Arabia is going to magically make DEI get erased from the company. And that very well...
No, that shit runs deep, bro. But they will shake it off. They will shake off that rust.
May be true, but not for all of their IPs, okay? The Sims is probably one of the only video games that EA has that is DEI truly focused, and it actually makes money for them. Other than that, probably not too many IPs, and that's because The Sims is majority woman-focused, and we all know how they tend to get down. I mean, at this point, they're voting for their own erasure, considering how the majority of women, unfortunately, do support the...
I think The Sims is probably done. I don't think we're ever going to get another Sims game.
Trans ideology.
At least not like The Sims 2 or even The Sims 3. Sims 4, absolute garbage. That's why they had to make it free to play.
And the erasure of biological women from all natural forms of life. But with all that being said, they are trying to do damage control by coming out here and saying the following. They are going to keep creative control if Saudi Arabia sale goes through. Yes, they are trying to tell you that somehow by being bought out and going private, that they're still going to somehow keep creative control, even though the company is going to be private. I'm going to call complete bullshit on this, because anybody who knows business knows at the moment you go private, all of that goes out the window, okay? Yes, you can have a CEO. Yes, you can obviously have a chain of command and all that stuff. But if somebody doesn't like...
Here's the thing, too. We're going to keep creative control, but we're also going to get rid of literally everybody. I see that happening. I see massive layoffs. Massive layoffs.
Like anything, they don't need any excuse. They could get rid of you immediately. I mean, they can even do that as a public company. So imagine what can happen with a...
You can keep creative control. Here you go. But you're all fired.
Private company, right? But I want to move over to this. I want to move over to this article from PC Gamer, okay? Where it says, after the Saudi-backed EA buyout, the OG Sims director says that diversity isn't just critical, that it is existential for the business. And that,
yeah, love is love and people are people. All right, bye-bye.
That love is love and people are people.
When we go to McDonald's.
This is coming from somebody with the name of Charles London, who worked on The Sims 1 and The Sims 2. And again, I want you guys to understand, The Sims is literally that IP that when you think of like woke nonsense being put into a video game and it actually being successful, this would be it, right? There is almost nothing else in terms of saving grace for this game other than the nonsense that they put into it, right? The player base for The Sims loves this shit for the most part. Not all of them, but a lot of them do. It's very clear by how much...
And it could be a lot bigger if they would get rid of all that shit, because I fucking love The Sims. I'd be one of the people playing The Sims. I even downloaded The Sims 4 and tried to play it whenever they first made it free to play, and it was fucking garbage, dude. I immediately wanted to go back and play The Sims 2. Unfortunately, there's nowhere you can get it. It does not exist.
Money The Sims makes and what they put into it. The future of EA has looked, well, uncertain since it got picked up in the biggest leverage buyout in private equity history. Yeah, I want you guys to remember this. The biggest leverage buyout in private equity history. You really mean to tell me that they're going to have full creative control after being bought out for $55 billion? You really think...
Yeah, they'll have full creative control, but they're going to get replaced.
Think that's going to happen? If you think that's going to happen, please let me know. I can sell you multiple bridges for very cheap. For one thing, it's now on the hook for $20 billion in debt. Again, $20 billion in debt. You think they have time to fuck around?
Dude, I just want to say, just aside from this, an easy win that EA could have is literally re-release The Sims 2. Like that, and that's all that they have to do, and they'd make so much money.
That is half the amount of debt that Warner Brothers have. And look at what's happening with Warner Brothers. They're literally out here begging anybody to buy them and clear them of their debt. For another, the buyout came from a group of investors that included Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund and Affinity Partners founded by Donald Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. LGBTQ people and women are generally face repression in Saudi Arabia, while Kushner, of course, has strong ties to a Trump administration, which has made attacking LGBTQ rights a cornerstone of its...
That doesn't even exist. LGBT rights, that doesn't exist. They act like they have different rights than all the other human beings on Earth. Like, well, for one, I believe that no humans have rights, except for one right, and that is the right of free will.
Platform, please, for the love of God, shut the fuck up. Please. Okay, you guys are completely full of shit. You have the same rights that everybody else has. The truth is that you just want more.
Yep.
That's really what it is. You want more rights. You don't want the same rights. You want more. The presence of such conservative...
Or not even really more, just different ones.
...developments in the EA buyout has more than made a few Sims fans worried that the state's involvement in EA might lead to a clampdown on the series' more diverse elements. That would be a terrible idea for a lot of obvious moral reasons, but one OG Sims designer via FRVR says that it will be existential for the business. Charles London, who worked as an art director on The Sims 1 and creative director on The Sims 2, says that representing same-sex relationships in the earlier games was everything for the series. I think it's existential.
How would you know that if you wouldn't? Okay, that doesn't make any fucking sense. If it's always been there, then how do you know it's existential? You've never had it not in there. I don't get the logic there. That makes no fucking sense. I think it probably would have done just as good or better if it was just normal.
For the business, right? It is certainly for society. I think it's incredibly important for there to be a mainstream beloved brand that says love is love and people are people. Guys, again, for the people who swear that politics, shouldn't be in video games, the people who are mad currently that Halo has been co-opted by the US government to make a meme for everybody to laugh at while not...
Keep politics out of gaming, they cry.
Actually putting any politics from Trump into the game itself, but they can't tell the difference. Apparently these people can't understand. To them it's the same or worse when a meme...
Honestly though, if they did put Trump in a video game, I think it would probably do extremely well.
Meme is made versus when it's actually in the game, but again,
and not shitting on him. If they make like Trump look good, or like they meme Trump as being this just funny leader figure, like ridiculous leader figure, they would make so much money. Doesn't matter what the property is. I think eventually it would go bad if you keep doing it in multiple games, but if it's in like 1, 2, or even like 3, 4, 5 games in the next few years, I think those games would do very well.
And it's all about the policies they agree with being put into video games. Love is love and people is people. I've heard some very interesting people say love is love. I'm sure you guys can understand, what I'm referring to. It starts with a P. But anyway, but it's also the spirit of embracing all humanity that allows The Sims to be universally appealing, says London. Whether the audience be young, old, male, female, gay, straight, other, right? American, Iranian, whatever. I like how you specifically start off with the young. That's the first thing you think about.
Yep.
Representing as much of humanity as possible is what let The Sims create an empathetic and emotional connection to that game. Among players, says London, it's not that there's so many pants you can dress them in. Though, to be fair, London does acknowledge the sheer volume of pants options is also an important part of the appeal. London reckons that a world in which EA chucked LGBT players under the bus is a world in which EA is doomed.
And I don't even mind if you leave the game open to allow that type of gameplay to where you can have like same-sex couples and things like that. Just don't fucking label it. Just allow it to naturally happen. Just allow the system to be open enough for that to happen. The whole like making characters non-binary and stuff like that doesn't make any fucking sense. Like even with male and female, just put like 1, 2. Like if it's gonna bother you that much, put 1, 2, 3, 4. Have like, I don't know, 30 different character models and just don't label them. Just give them a number. Oh, then whatever they put at number 1, whatever they put last in this list is good. That's racist. that's misogynist that you put those characters there. It never stops if you just keep going down this path.
They're in a reactionary periods. To have stalwart, beloved brands that are capable of sending this message is critical to society. But it's also critical that those brands keep the faith, because if they don't, they're going to stop being brands and they lose the ability to appeal to wide groups of people. Now, in terms of money,
all I hear about is crying. All that I hear from this is fucking just crybaby bullshit.
Overall, I gotta imagine that The Sims is probably one of the lowest on the totem poles in terms of money makers for EA.
Especially if they can smell more money, but also if it goes against the morals of the Saudis who own it, they're not going to allow it to happen anyway. Like, that's not going to be a thing. They don't care that much about money. They know how to make money. But Saudi Arabians, they know how to make money. And they know that the way to make money is to drop all of this shit, because it's making people pissed off to the point where even people who are into this shit drop off because they're tired of hearing the conversation around it.
Anytime I see reports come out from their investor calls or whatever, or their earnings reports, I never really see The Sims at anywhere near the top, right? Like, there's other games out there that they make way more money for EA than The Sims. The Sims is just one of those like consistent franchises that will always keep making the same money from the wokies that play it. But other than that, it's never really up there, right? Their sports games are up there.
And so many more people would play it if they just left it open. If they didn't put all this bullshit in it. And also allowed the game to be up, because I want to play Sims 2, damn it. The mods for that game are crazy good.
In terms of money making, right? Their sports games make an insane amount of money. Battlefield is going to be up there now with making them an insane amount of money. It's never really going to be about The Sims. The Sims is just consistently average at that point compared to anything else. In London's recollection, it was this kind of thinking that led to same-sex relationships being incorporated in the original Sims games. He says Maxis wasn't a band of fearless social revolutionaries, but that when it came to sexuality, we realized that we had to implement it in the game in order for these little humans to be little humans. We choose the option that was both technically simpler, but also the one where we could look at ourselves in the mirror. Oh my.
Dude, and like, you look at yourself in the mirror and you choose, oh, do I want this character to be gay? Yes, I will click that label for the character to be gay. Why? Why? Just let it happen naturally with interactions. You want to go interact with a character in that way? Let that be open. And even people who don't want that to happen, they'll do it because they think it's funny. And that's like how you leave gameplay open. What? They just completely... This is lying. This is bullshit because they want to keep pandering their fucking propaganda to children.
My God, bro. These people really make it all about themselves.
Yep.
They truly do. Like, this is like, for them, this is their entire identity. This is their entire lives. This is their entire being. This is why they exist. And then when you tell them this, they look at you and they say, well, you're lying. You're gaslighting. It's like, bro, no, we're not. This is literally everything you guys talk about. This is everything that you are.
Yeah.
And then you project and you claim that, oh,
a bunch of sexual degenerates. It's straight up degeneracy. That's all it is.
Those chuds, all they talk about is being anti-black and anti-gay and all that. So it's like, bro, you guys are such a group of narcissists. It's absolutely insane. And then you project on everybody else when people are trying to have conversations from all aspects of gaming. You want to make it all about how many dicks you could take in the ass. It's insane, man. So he hopes, of course, that those kinds of choices being made, and he sounds relatively optimistic. That includes not just sexuality, it includes body image. Okay, so you got to make sure everybody's fat, or you got to make sure that there's trans scars, right? It includes race, and it includes a choice of clothing. It includes a choice of architecture, the choice of job, structure, all the magnificent diversity of actual human life. And this is something...
They don't even have to include race. They could just have a color bar that just like goes through literally all the... You want your character to be blue, green? Like, they don't need the race option. It doesn't make any fucking sense. You can just, in your head, pretend that your character's from India and make your character's skin color that.
That the team, I think, deeply understands. Deeply understands.
Like, there's easy ways to get around all of the woke labeling bullshit and still have it all in the game. They just want to push it outright to make this the mechanics of the game instead of just like letting it open to naturally have those mechanics. They don't want it to be natural. They want it to be forced. They're forcing it.
Dude.
And it's literally propaganda whenever you do shit like that.
Seriously, like your whole fucking life is this. Your whole entire life is DEI. I don't understand. I will never understand. This is somebody who is brown. I will never ever truly understand. So in any case, ladies and gentlemen, I find all of this to be hilarious because they just seem to believe that the moment the Saudis take over, that DEI is going to go away. And I find it hilarious that they believe this, right? Considering that they usually tend to advocate for other countries that are not the US, again, right? They tend to advocate. These are the people who are always like free Palestine and all this shit, right? But then the moment the Saudis want to come around and buy EA and take it over, now they're like, no, this is not good for us. They hate us. They don't like us. It's like, bro,
the demons are screeching. That's what this is.
Are we being serious right now? So you guys let me know in the comments down below. What do you think is going to happen from Saudi Arabia taking over EA?
You're either going to have to fall in line or you're going to have to hit the road, dude. Like, it's not going to happen. Saudi Arabia is not going to let it happen. They would rather shut the whole fucking place down and just start over. Use all what's left in the rubble to make something new out of EA. That's probably what's going to happen. They're literally just going to break the whole thing down.
Do you think DEI is going to go away completely? Do you think The Sims is suddenly going to become straight only? Because I don't
think so. Yeah, I think they're going to really hold on. I think they're going to sneak it in, and Saudi Arabia is just kind of not going to be able to do anything for a little while, and they'll have to slowly clean house. Eventually, they'll get rid of it, but then you'll have some other kind of politics in there. Because these freaks, it's just like a constant flow of freaks, and it slowly changes over time to something else. It started with feminism, and now it's just like this weird DEI stuff, and that I think it's moving into gambling. I think that might be what's next, because that's kind of the way I'm seeing things going. And what you'll have really bad gambling mechanics along with the DEI stuff, and slowly the DEI stuff will leave, and then the next political movement will start to creep its way in.
Believe that. But do you believe that? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it,
yeah, man, I enjoyed it a lot. I already clicked like. I don't know. This is very interesting, bro. This is better than reality TV to me. That's why I always react to this shit, because like I'm watching it anyway, might as well make videos talking about it. Got nobody else to vent to, because nobody else that I know is into this kind of shit. But this is absolute cinema to me.